And Max, welcome. Also delighted. Yeah, he said it. Delighted to welcome to the studio Ben Phillips from HomeRate Mortgage. Ben, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Max, you turn on your mic and we'll be good. Okay.
Oh, wait, test one. Test one.
There we go.
There we are. You were, that's a 6.
All right.
That's a 6.
Yeah, and he's been working on it for a while. Ben, thank you for being here. First of all, it feels a little bit like we're kind of the family. We talk about HomeRate Mortgage a lot. I know as much as a DJ can know about the company, but just to give people a little background, I mean, you've been at the helm of HomeRate Mortgage. You guys have been in business 20 years plus, right?
Yeah, it's a wild ride. Yeah, yeah. I've been in the mortgage business for over 20 years. So.
Right.
And I'm 44, so I got started pretty young.
Cool. You look young. I think that's one thing that we share. We both have that embryonic look to us.
Yeah.
You can grow a beard, and I cannot.
You turned 21 last week, right?
We both look like fetuses. Now, Ben, for people who don't know, there are deals to be had out there, and that's the one thing when we speak about HomeRate Mortgage, we just want you to give them a call. Like 10 minutes, is that a good estimate for an average amount of time? If you can invest 10 minutes, you can save a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, you know, saving money is kind of a common denominator. I mean, we all like spending money.
Sure.
But you know, saving money so that you can spend money is kind of a good thing.
Absolutely. And to me, not having to spend money is almost the same as getting money. At the end of the month, if you have that much more money left in your pocket, it's almost like someone gave it to you.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason why we're the biggest mortgage company in town is because over the years, people have trusted us. We've done good by them, and they keep telling their friends, their neighbors. It's not rocket science. You do good work for folks, they're going to come back. Just like a church is built. You know, it's done
one
by
brick
good
at a
works.
time. And
Yeah.
I have to say that at least 3, maybe more than that, times listeners have called unsolicited and said, you know what, that company, HomeRate Mortgage, I went to them. They did right by me. I saved money. I told my friends. I told my family. They went to the HomeRate Mortgage, and unsolicited, absolutely top shelf compliments.
Well, I really appreciate that. I mean, several people just stopped by the DJ booth here and shook my hand, and they've done mortgages with me, and some several times to buy investment properties and things like that. So it's a blessing. But you know, my grandfather taught me a long time ago, the best way to predict future performance in life or whatever it is past performance.
Sure.
So
track record.
You know, so yeah, we just start from the beginning. I mean, this is my hometown. I was born and raised here. Cleveland, Tennessee is where I was born.
Right.
So I grew up in Cleveland. I went to Cleveland High School. You know, my dad was a basketball coach, so I got to see, you know, that inspirational, that dedication, that fire. You know, he was the head coach at Cleveland State.
Very cool.
Took them to the Sweet 16 in Kansas.
It takes something special to be a basketball coach. It really
no
does.
doubt about it. Coach of the year, had to deal with all the problems from pregnancy to bad grades and, you know, attitude and all those kind of things. So to be a coach, it's a big deal. So that's how I became a coach, if you want to know the truth.
That's very cool. And I'd like to just point out that you're much like the rest of us. People, we know you as you know, the helm of HomeRate Mortgage, but you're a father, you're a dad. You go through the same trials and triumphs that we all go through as family, and still are able to head this company. And that's part of the fabric that makes us what we are.
Oh, snap. Yeah. Great looking lady too. I'm like, why can't I get some of that? You know, why can't I be good looking like that? What happened?
Short change on
maybe it skips generations though, because my kids are beautiful. I was like, okay, maybe that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, indeed.
And
indeed.
you mentioned how you could tell how something's going to be by looking at the past. My dad told me, if you're going to think about marrying a woman, take a hard look at her mom. And that's just a little aside.
Ooh.
That's just a little aside.
Okay, well, then I'll go ahead and compliment my wife, because she might be listening right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, very good move.
Well, first of all, she's from Lynchburg, Tennessee.
You're all. Everyone's a local.
Yeah. So she grew up in a creek called Lewis Creek on Lewis Creek Road on a farm that was 1,000 acres. Now, you want to talk about some cool story here? You know where I'm going, right?
No.
Okay. My wife is Jack Daniels' great niece, blood relative all the way. Jack's sister is my wife's great grandmother.
what a great heritage that is.
Yeah, so if you want to talk about the story of Tennessee, you can't leave out Jack Daniels.
Absolutely not.
So you can't leave out Ben Phillips because his wife is from Lynchburg, Tennessee, and grew up on the creek, and that's what's up, y'all. I mean, come on, did I score or what?
I can see why you're so excited, my friend. I can really see that. And you know what? I guess into that kind of a connection, you got a big tap in the basement, right? Anytime you want to, you take the snifter down there and fill up some.
I get the gentleman Jack, so.
You know what? I don't drink anymore, but when I did, Jack Daniels was always the top. What are we going to do? Jack Daniels. Ooh, fancy. You know, that was what you wanted if you were going to have a good time. And I'm great to hear that. It's great to hear that kind of a backstory.
Into the vat.
Ooh, I'd love to, though.
It'll set you right. Yeah. And while you're in that building, you can actually buy legally a bottle of Jack Daniels, but you walk outside, you can't buy legally anywhere.
How weird is that? Yeah.
I mean, that's called a historical landmark, I guess.
That
a
is
special agreement.
Very cool. Now, to get a little more serious, COVID kind of flipped our boat, everyone's boat. And I'm sure that the mortgage industry was no different. And that's all kind of shaking out right now.
Right.
Things are the equilibrium is trying to be regained. What's the future like? What are we experiencing now? And what does it look like the future of this is going to be?
Well, COVID has impacted us in a significant way, and some yet to be seen. So let me turn this around for everybody. You know, the government has had to spend trillions of dollars because of COVID. Trillions.
Yeah.
Trillions. So what that does, y'all, and listen, I'm got a mortgage and finance background. I've got an accounting degree, and I love what I do. So success is what I'm all about. So I've got to look forward. I've got to know the answer first, right?
Sure.
Well, check this out. If we're spending our money, we're printing money and literally spending it on things that we didn't otherwise need to spend it on, that devalues the dollar. And that is going to continue to happen. The good news is this is a global issue, so we've got some help there because our dollar is still the thing.
Dollar, yeah.
It's the Jack Daniels, right? It's it.
Yes,
so
it's the gentleman Jack of the currency.
So what I'm saying here is that if that dollar starts to decline in value, there is no choice but to increase interest rates. All of the big gentlemen up in the ivory towers that we don't even get to talk to, the ones that really analyze the data,
crunching the numbers.
That's right. They're saying interest rates are going to go up to 4.5% to 5% next year. So if you don't get off the fence, I'm talking the folks that want to buy their dream home for the first time. Exactly. I'm talking about the folks that have all this mountain of $20,000, $30,000 of credit card debt. You know what those rates are, right?
Crazy. They are like almost 20%. Some of them.
No, higher. You're off the. It's because you don't have any credit card debt.
No,
so check
I don't.
this out. 24% is the minimum, pretty much, on the average debt out there. It's ridiculous.
Organized crime.
But you can get under 3%, y'all, on a mortgage. And guess what? Anybody that owns a home, which I want to tap into this in a minute,
sure,
about homeownership, because homeownership is the only way to really create wealth in your life. It's not the only way, but it's one of the key ways to create wealth in an American's life right now.
And happiness. You have a home, that goes so far.
The pride becomes part of the action. The action becomes the focus, and then the overall that becomes the bond of what the desires of life. And I know it gets a little bit, you know,
I
start thinking in different ways, but people love to grow their little thing that they call their own.
Yes.
And that's what home really is. So buying a home is so important, not just from what we're talking about there on the pride, but because of the financial impacts. Did you guys learn about the Rule of 72 in like high school and stuff?
You know, Max and I went like during the Bronze Age. I'm not sure exactly what they taught back then.
Did you know that homes have increased over the last 100 years, and it has always been the case, they've said this over and over for decades, that homes increase by 3% every year, on average.
Kind of a hard rule of thumb?
Yeah, hard rule of thumb. And if you just look at it, it just continues to climb 3% on average. Well, the Rule of 72 says that your investment will double if you divide that number, whatever that increased number, the average number, from 72. Well, 72 divided by 3 is 24. So if you buy a home in 2020, let's say you bought it for $200,000, it's almost a lock guarantee that payment you're making is not only going to be almost paid off, so you're going to owe about, what, $50,000 left in 2044?
Sure.
Maybe $40,000?
At the most.
But the home is going to be worth, y'all, $400,000. Now you tell me how else to create wealth. It's not from your 401k. I mean, 401ks are doing good, but not like that kind of money.
That's crazy money. Let's be serious. Let's be honest about that. That's kind of crazy money.
So, and I can even bring Donald Trump into this. I mean, he's leveraged debt. He's leveraged debt his whole life, and look where he's at. He has golden toilet seats. Yeah. Okay, so all I'm saying is Dave Ramsey is, well, I'm not going to say bad names or anything like that, because he's from Tennessee. He's out of Nashville. But a lot of people that listen to that show up there, they tend to believe that you have to pay cash for a house, and I blame him for that. I blame him for that.
You know,
nobody.
No
I can't pay cash for a house.
Going up.
Folks, just recognize this: the most amazing debt you can do in life is a home loan. A home loan is the best because, number one, instead of paying your landlord to get him rich, because he's doing exactly what I'm telling you to do. So stop doing it right now. It's that simple.
Investing in your future.
So I feel good when I go to sleep at night. I feel good when I go down the grocery aisle and I'm trying to pick up that milk and that person hears me on the phone with my wife and they go, "Oh, you're that Listen Up Y'all guy." And I'm like, "Yeah, dang straight. What do you do? You helped me like 3 months ago, and I just wanted to tell you thank you."
Someone recognizes your voice and gives you a compliment like that. That can really make your whole day. You realize that you have something to do in their life.
My whole life I've been accused of doing the hard vitamins, if you know what I mean. But you know what I say to people that give me a hard time about that? I say, I can't help it the way God made me. I'm excited and pumped up and ready to go. So that, hey, let's bring up some history. I was a 3-time individual state champion in track and cross country. So that's where that energy came from. It was here before I was.
What was your big event? What was your favorite event?
I was a 2-time state champion in the mile. So I ran the 1600. And
so you got that air capacity.
Yes.
You got air,
yeah. Everybody says I'm the loudest person in the room, and they think that I'm doing it on purpose. And I'm like, I just can't help it. That's just who I am.
And I bet people would like to say, "Can I buy some of whatever you have?" Because this kind of exuberance is a good word. I was going to say, yeah, if someone would have had a stopwatch,
well,
that would have been the record.
Yeah. That's how it all started. Yeah, and you know what? You talk about motivation. A gun will motivate somebody to run, but you know what? What better motivation to buy a home than to realize that renting, you're throwing your money away, and buying a $200,000 home in Chattanooga today is going to be worth $400,000 in 24 years. So you're going to owe about $40,000 to $50,000 back. And guess what? I can do the math real quick. That's $360,000 in equity. Is that wealth? Is that wealth? Can I get a show of hands?
Absolutely.
Is that wealth?
Absolutely, it is.
All right, thank you.
So for people,
we're done. I'm getting out of here.
No. You know, Max is usually very dour, very angry man, and for him to have that kind of a glowing recommendation is very, very.
When I see Cumulus or WGW on this, you know, the pay stubs that come in or on the application, I just automatically go higher on the rate. So I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry.
Now, Ben, if this is coming, so this is that time. This is where the iron is hot. Is this a good strike while the iron's hot before interest rates go up? Take advantage of it. At the very least, give them a call and see what your options are. Yeah. You owe yourself that. I don't want someone to go, I'm so disappointed I didn't go sooner, because they're thinking, I could have been saving money all that time. I could have been saving money for months.
I need to go. If anybody doesn't want to refinance, that's like, you know, got high interest debt out there, or you know, that owns a home that has that kind of equity right now. Everybody's got equity right now. If you don't do it, then I need to get in the wrestling match with you or something. It's foolish right now. You hear the stories, you know, saving a single nurse with just $20,000 in credit card debt, unfortunately, but a single mom, and guess what? Saved her $700 a month. Saved a minister $1,500 a month last month. What we're saving people, it's not only real today, it's real tomorrow. We're helping them pay off their homes faster. We're doing it with these low interest rates. And guess what? If you're waiting for a better deal, then you need to go get your head examined.
I think that says it clearly. Ben, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man.
And thank you for supporting our show. We appreciate that, and we absolutely support Home Rate Mortgage. You're welcome anytime. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, it's story time, how I got kicked off the football team and almost suspended.